Welcome everybody to JavaScript Girl in the .NET world. Just left streaming with Layla on the VMware Tanzu channel. That was lots of fun. But today with me, I have the incredible Mike Brocchi. Say hi, Mike. Oh, you're over here.
Hi, everybody.
I'm like, where's Mike? I'm going to do this screen. Today, we're talking C# basics. We're going to dive a little bit more into a console app I've been building and try to get live share working on Visual Studio. So that should be lots of fun. But for those of you who don't know, I am weekly on a podcast with Mike and Justin, who will be joining us in a little bit.
Video podcast.
A video podcast. Vodcast.
Yeah. And we stream on YouTube's.
On Angular Air. And so we talk about Angular and lots of things in the community and our ecosystem. But as you know, the boys heard that I was learning .NET, and apparently everyone who I know in the JavaScript world has a background in .NET. Like, there's not been a single person who was like, what are you like? Everyone's like, yeah, I remember I did that. So Mike, tell us, first of all, what was your coding journey like, and where did .NET fit into it?
Wow, you're going to make me go back that far.
This
may be going back before you were born. My professional coding journey started in 1999. So 22 years. Wow, that hurt to say out loud. Right? But I started doing VB, Visual Basic, not VB.NET before. This is all prior to .NET. I started with VB5 for a little bit, did some VB6, so it was desktop development. I did classic ASP, so before ASP.NET was classic ASP, which is...
Did you like that? Was that fun?
It was the web, so it was cool. It was better than VB desktop apps, in my opinion. I like that more. Obviously, because you can see where my career ended up, that I like the web more. But yeah, I started doing that Microsoft stack back then. That was VB script on the server side. And then that moved into .NET around 2001 with like version 1.0 and 1.1 of .NET.
Why did you have friends that like suggested these things, or is just
we talked about it at work and we migrated because we wanted to stay up on technology, which sounds like ancient technology now, but back then it was what was new. So
what are you doing right now? You don't touch .NET on the day-to-day, or do you?
I haven't touched server code in quite a while.
Wait. When I think of .NET, I don't think of server code. Is that an assumption that everyone's making?
Well, being that I work almost exclusively on the web, right. It's all front end.
But you could be a Blazor boy and working on the web with the front end, right? So
that's true, but I'm doing mostly TypeScript Angular.
Okay.
So front end with more, I guess, browser native code versus C# being, I think, I'm not totally familiar with Blazor. I still need to do research on that, but I believe it's basically C# that gets translated into JavaScript, which then runs in the browser. But I'm not 100% sure.
We're definitely testing my knowledge here. So I think whenever you start a Blazor app, you can choose if it's got like a WASM background or a C# background. I believe you have those options.
Okay. Silicon's calling it out that .NET's not just server code.
No, it's approving me.
I agree with you. However, when I last touched it, which was probably about 5 or 6 years ago, if not a little bit more, everything ran on the server. Even like the web stuff was server rendered stuff.
So that's still very common though today, right? Like there's still like people who are working in the .NET industry doing that. Like It's not okay, cool.
Whereas it's statically rendered on the server, delivered to the client, and then just presented.
Bit of a JavaScript crossover metaphor question. Is that the same thing as Scully? Sorry.
Not exactly. Scully takes
because Scully's static, and isn't it? It's like server rendered versus live rendered or some business.
It's rendered mostly as of right now rendered at build time, so it is statically rendered. But it hydrates a JavaScript application under the hood.
Yeah. So when you say build time, that's different than server time.
Correct. Build time is when your application is compiled for deployment. Server side rendering is when the user makes the request to the server. The server says, oh, hey, you want that? Yeah, I'll piece that together now and then ship it back out.
I guess I just assumed when you do that server like request that the build has already been done and is stored. So the server's just like, here's that build I have. You're saying it's like doing that build live when that request comes in?
No, it's done like before deployment.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's when Scully runs.
So
as of now, there's
you're
plans in
saying
the
it didn't
future, but that's not this conversation.
Okay. So, because whenever people talk about like things on the server side, like that's really my only. I'm like Scully. Like so whenever I want to tell you my .NET journey so far, I've built a small demo desktop app with WPF. I've done a Blazor app, to-do list, and right now I have a couple little console apps that I'm working with, and something that I really want to talk to you today about because I think it'll be really fascinating because you have this like very like fresh, like right now in your brain, JavaScript, TypeScript monologue going on because you know how that works and you know how JavaScript works. And then you have this background of C#. And so as I'm learning in C#, things like today we were talking about with Layla, and I would love to get your take on it, things like implementing an interface versus inheriting a class. So especially with like the JavaScript twist, because I'm just like, what the heck is the difference and the point? So I don't know if you're willing to dive into that, if that's too low level.
No, we can talk about interfaces and inheritance, object-oriented programming, polymorphism. That's the word I was looking for.
I forgot. Layla said I fried Alyssa's brain. No, we did reach a point where I was like, I see what you're saying, Layla, but also I still don't see the value in an interface. And I think that's really where I'm struggling because I feel like we can just do it all with classes. And I think maybe that's my JavaScript brain talking. Layla said polymorphism. I know.
So I'm gonna give you a clue. Anytime you hear interface, think contract. I'm agreeing to do what it says I'm gonna do. It doesn't have to actually do it. There's nothing that does it. It says I can do these things. I have these things available, and I guess
like what's the difference between that then and a class? Because like when you're like, that's my parent class, isn't that the same as a contract that you're saying I'm going to do that crap like up above? No.
Well, don't get into the idea of parent class. So let's talk about just about the difference of an interface and a class.
Okay.
So
yes,
an interface is a contract. I can do this. I expose a name property. I can I expose a method or a function called get greeting, right? Those two things are part of a contract. The interface doesn't actually implement those, but a contract that implements that interface, or excuse me, a class that implements that interface provides that implementation. It actually does it. But the contract is just saying, hey, I'm one of these things, so that means that I can do these things.
So we have interfaces in TypeScript.
Yes, we do.
Are
not just the two of us, anybody who uses it.
No, just me and Mike. Nobody else has. And I've seen them used, and it's very much like set like kind of like you're saying, a contract of like setting the stage for like what this is going to hold or have or expect. Same. Do you believe it works the same? Because let me share my screen with you real quick. I'm wondering if it's pretty much like that interface, this interface. Like, do you think they're the same?
The concept of an interface is the same from JavaScript to C#.
Okay.
Or sorry, not I misspoke. TypeScript.
Because when you create JavaScript's like, I don't care.
Well, actually, I think there's a TypeScript Playground that if you go there and you create an interface and you look at what gets generated for JavaScript, it's nothing. It doesn't exist because it's only there for types.
I think I should pull up that TypeScript Playground. So this is what Layla and I were working on. I'm pulling up chat so I can have it up at the same time.
Cool. I'm gonna look at the find that site. Website. Yes, Playground. There we go.
You found it? You have things? You plop.
I'll put it in the chat here this way because you're already set to share your screen.
You said, do you have a person in your contact list that has a special ringtone? There's a default ringtone, then a special ringtone. The contact just needs to call a ringtone. The contact with a special ringtone has its own implementation of the ringtone interface. Contact with a special ringtone has its own implementation of the ringtone interface. I think they all have their own implementations of a ringtone interface, and they're all pointing to default except for that special one, right?
All right. So you're looking at here. We have a good example here.
What?
What do you have on the screen? Perfect.
This guy? Yeah.
Yeah. So forget about the ringtones. Let's look because we can look at the actual code that you have up here.
Oh, the duck, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we built interface of iAnimal, and then we also have, if I go up, we have abstract class animal base because I wanted to see the differences of like inheritance and implementation. And so then we made this class dog, and he is inheriting from the class of animal base. But if we go down here, duck is implementing this type of iAnimal. So, and then in over here, she was showing me how we can make a list, and it expects like they're going to be of type iAnimal, and she was essentially telling me that we are calling this animal.makeSound, and we have access to that because it is an interface. Because I was saying, I was saying, couldn't we just do this with a class? And she said that we would not have access to make sound if we did this exactly the same, but in a class. Do you agree with that?
If you were to make a list of animal base, then you would have access to that. If assuming make sound is listed there.
Oh, yep. So see,
so
the point of an interface is now lost.
So there's some advantages and disadvantages of using classes and interfaces as your foundation. We'll use the word foundation as the base. That in CSharp you can extend or implement. No, sorry, it's implement in CSharp, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can implement multiple interfaces on a class, but you can only extend or inherit from a single class.
Oh, say that again. Sorry. You can
implement multiple interfaces.
You can implement
multiple contracts
interface on one person.
Yes.
Oh, that's bizarre.
It's the same thing in TypeScript. But you can only extend a single class.
Name one reason, Mike, you have ever done two interfaces on one person. What is this voodoo that you do?
I'm trying to think of a good example.
Because like I have this other console app.
All right, go back to your iAnimal.
Yeah. Let's see. Right here.
You could have an iPet. And that could have like an owner property.
Oh my God. Do you think it works the same? Like, you think
what do you mean?
Do you think that both CSharp and TypeScript work the same with you can have multiple interfaces on one thing?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Hang on. You said pet.
Yep.
And I'm going to make it. Wait. No, I'm doing this all wrong. Wait.
Yeah. Interface.
So it's not public because we're in the namespace, so it doesn't matter. Interface of iPet.
And then that can have a property on it of owner or owner name, whatever, right?
Ring owner name. Will it autocomplete that for me?
No, because you're defining the name there, so it has no idea.
I meant the get set part. I didn't know if it would be like, here is your get set. There you go.
I've recently gone back to Windows. I haven't opened Visual Studio in 5 years. I don't have it installed yet.
What do you use? Sorry.
VS Code.
You can you do this in VS Code?
I could. I don't think I have .NET tool. I don't think I've installed .NET tool in. So
I've got interface of iPet, and you're saying I have a duck. Yep. Wait, let's go up to dog. Dog is this, and then you're saying I can also do iAnimal, and I can also do. Oh God, iPet. It's yelling at me. Oh, it's common mibbit.
Yeah, but it's because it's
Oh,
telling
it
you
wants
that it
me.
doesn't implement it. So you should be able to right click on that and say implement interface. There you go. And then
And
same thing
then
there.
that and that. What? This is like some magical dog beast that now has animal and pet.
Yep. And then you could also go down and implement iPet on duck.
Duck. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go to duck. Right here, and then you're saying iPet.
So random fact. So you might not think of a duck as a pet, but both my dad and my wife's dad both had pet ducks growing up.
Did they like live in the house?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Yeah. Or at least
gosh.
I know my dad's duck did. That
Prop,
stuff. Yeah.
tab, tab. That's right. Layla taught me that at one point. I'm gonna try that real quick. This one. Prop, tab, tab. Yes! Hang on, I've got to make a note so I don't forget this.
So that's a snippet. But since that's an interface where you define that,
Yep.
you do not need public because everything defined in an interface has to be public. Again,
And
because it's a contract of saying, hey, something has to expose this thing.
I think that means you're saying that like in the class they don't have to be public, or they do. They don't.
Other way around. In the
No,
interface,
because you said the interface is public, like it
always
like right, and so we don't have to specify. But the class, it
the class
doesn't
does.
have to be public, right?
It does.
Wait, what? They both have to
Because
be public? Hmm.
the interface, because it is a contract that's telling everybody else, hey, I implement this thing so I can do these things. So it's by default public on an interface. It's explicit. But when you implement it on a class, you have to say it's public so that you can fulfill the contract or the interface.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I think so.
So the contract says, I do this. I have an owner's name.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get to the class, you need to say, hey, I'm a pet, so I have to have an owner's name. And it does no good to anybody else to say, hey, I implement that contract and I'm going to make it private, protected, internal, whatever. I guess internal would potentially work because it's available. Because it's in the namespace, and as long as it's. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think
but
6 years, I'm stale.
We wouldn't usually do this though, right? Because like usually don't each one of these would get their own class, and so they get their own namespace. Or no, I guess we're still in the same namespace because the namespace belongs to the app. Does Typescript have a namespace thingy like this?
It does because it used to, but it's not really used anymore.
I was going to say this namespace concept feels new to me, but maybe that's because I wasn't using Typescript properly.
Yeah, I don't fully remember the use case and the necessities of namespaces.
I was going to say, if we go up to the
CSharp.
very top, like we don't do this, right? Like in
not in Typescript.
We don't do that. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like missing something big.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Silicon Orchid was saying that something that might help the implementation class can have many more fields and methods than the interface it implements. It only needs to include those defined in the interface. Right. So it's like the contract is like more strict of like, this is the baseline. I think that's kind of the scary part of using an interface to me, because it feels more like, I have to be forethinking and I have to know what everybody's going to want to share. And like, that's kind of like, oh God, like overwhelming, you know?
Yeah. So while that's true, that an interface can have a set and the class that implements it can have a superset, it can have more. That's not limiting to just interfaces. Base classes are the same way. So you could add additional properties onto a child class that are not defined in the parent class.
Because you're talking about like when you override something and then add your own stuff?
Yeah, you can add other things. You could also override the existing stuff too. From
what you remember about C# inheritance, do you think that it's pretty identical to TypeScript as far as like, or just even JavaScript with like how we inherit classes and how we override things? Do you think those basic principles are the same?
Yeah. That's also the same, like in just about, well, I don't want to say other languages. I know it's very similar in Java as well.
Oh, okay.
So that the idea that you can inherit from one class, or excuse me, inherit from one class but implement multiple interfaces, that concept and being able to override functionality, that's part of just polymorphism, didn't say that well, and object-oriented programming in general.
Question. If something's not object-oriented, what is it?
Like JavaScript by nature is functional. They've added
No,
classes.
it's not.
Yes, it is.
Nuh-uh. What? No.
Yeah.
Wait. I thought it was object-oriented. I'm so confused now.
It has
Like, what?
classes, but if you create, well, before ES6, if you created a class, it would just get transpiled from TypeScript as a class into just a function.
Which you're saying makes it functional. I thought, whoa, you're like blowing my brain. I thought whenever people, because I'm going to learn, I'm going to go to this mode real quick. I'm going to learn F# this week with Layla.
Cool.
And I thought, that's like functional. And it's just like this whole other paradigm versus what I've always used, which is object oriented. But you're saying it all is coming to whether you're using functions or objects, and that's what they are.
Yeah, it's just the nature of the language of how you structure your code typically.
Because I thought it was more like the difference between using like reactiveness in your Angular app versus not. I thought it was like that much of a difference, but you're saying it's just what it comes down to.
Yeah, because you didn't really do anything reactive when you did AngularJS, did you?
Mm-mm.
It was, yeah, it's because JavaScript by nature is functional.
JavaScript, are you like, is this a hot take? Are you going to upset people?
I really don't think so.
He's saying, Mike said that JavaScript by nature is functional.
As opposed to object-oriented, because that second part is important.
As opposed to object-oriented. Okay, Turtle Guy is agreeing with you, and so I don't think.
Then it has to be right.
Then it has to be right. If both Mike and Turtle Guy agree. No, seriously though, I really thought it was object-oriented. I would have gotten that one wrong on a test. Okay, wow. Here we are. Wait, but C# is object-oriented.
Yes.
They seem so similar. Like we just talked about all of these similarities. Like, are you saying now because of ES6?
JavaScript is what, 25, 30 years old, something like that, as a language, and classes just got added in the last 5 years. So it had no concept of a class prior to that.
Would you say it is now object-oriented?
You can do object-oriented things, but I don't need. So the idea of like extending a class.
Yes.
In TypeScript.
Yes.
I don't know if that exists in JavaScript.
The idea of extending a class. Yeah. Hang on, let's share. We can stop sharing that and just share everything, because window, just share everything. Do it. Share it all. Here we go. Because class inheritance in this one. And then we're going to pull up, none of these are, well, just this one. That's fine. And then we're going to make this full screen like that. So like with, cause you're talking about extends, right? It's there. It exists, right? Like as of the newest bits. So
I wasn't disagreeing. I said I didn't know.
Well, I do wonder though.
I appreciate that. That's important.
I do wonder if that means like it's just now classified as object oriented, but I guess you could do either way, because people up until now, like you were saying, it was like faux classes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have bad news.
Oh no, tell me the bad news.
There's a Slack message that Mr. Shorty will not be able to join us. He got pulled into other meetings.
Oh no.
Well, so you're stuck with dealing with just me.
Listen, you seem to know a lot about pretty much every programming language so far, so I think we've covered.
Talked about 3. There's more than that.
We don't need to acknowledge that there's more than these 3.
You're the one that brought up F#, just saying.
Oh, have you done F#? Do you know about it?
I can spell it, but that's about it. I have not dove into F#.
I'm excited. Tune in on Thursday. Layla and I will be We'll be tackling it, seeing if we can. Okay, I wanted to share this with you, and actually, let me open up. I want to show you real quick. And you might be like, "What have you done?" This one.
I wouldn't do that.
I'm really excited. I'm going to bring you guys on to when I get to, because right now in my journey, I'm like trying to get C# basics down, really understand it. And then I wanted to move on to like the web world in .NET. So like where you're marrying like .NET with Angular business. I think that'll be really fascinating. But I mean, I don't have any like back-end servery side knowledge, so it'll be all fresh stuff.
So when you think about that, think about what's happening. That you are going to have a server that's listening, right? When somebody makes a request in, you'll be able to capture that, and the web server and all the setup of a web project in .NET will help you with all of that. And then you can do work based off of that, read things off of the request that's coming in, do things, and send a response out. And just handle all of that logic with .NET. So whether or not that needs to do a lookup in a database, do some processing logic, generate a picture, whatever it needs to do, it's just code that's written in C# that handles that process for you.
I guess that's the part that's confusing, because with our Angular apps right now, like I don't really get the point of a server. Like,
in Angular, do you use the HTTP client?
Yeah.
That's calling to a server to get data, right? Typically.
Well, yeah, but like
something has to be listening to that.
Because you're talking about like rendering views, right? Not just getting data.
No. It can be data. You can read the different response types. The default one that'll be returned from like a web API project, assuming that's still a thing. Again, haven't touched .NET in a while. But here are requests coming in, and you say, "Oh, okay, you're looking for my orders." All right, well, I'll grab the session information or token and say, "Oh, you're this user, and these are your orders. So I'm going to send you back all the different order information as JSON."
I guess I mainly work on front end parts of an app, and then whenever I need data, I either throw it into something like Firebase, or I have someone who's like, "Here's your API I built for you." So what you're saying is like you're the one building that.
You create your Firebase. We'll call it Alyssa base.
Okay.
And yeah, you're building the thing that's going
to
be.
Is that really all the server side is, or is it more complicated than that? I feel like there's got to be so much more to it than that.
Depends on what logic you need. What kind of data is being, or what's being requested. And you go and do that work, whether or not, as King of COD points out, that it could be saved into an information. So you get posted the value from a form or the information from a form. So you take that and say, "Oh, okay, you're telling me your updated address, right?"
Yes.
So the server says, "Oh, okay, I'll grab the address information out of the request object, save it to a database, listen to see if that's successful, and send a response back to the client." And the client's like, "Oh, cool, you created that. I've got that. I have my confirmation. I can move on, get rid of the spinner, and move on to the next page."
Okay.
I think
that's no, it does. But
I'm not good at drawing pictures, but I think diagrams for this would.
Ooh, you want me to? Oh, hang on. I'm going to show you. You're going to either love this or hate this. Share it all and go here. This is what I had up last time, and we're just going to.
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Nah, sure. Save it.
I haven't opened Paint yet. Oh, I need to install Paint.net.
Desktop, and I'm going to call this one. This was understanding inheritance, and now we're going to say I can't even inheritance.
That's on you.
There we go. We're totally just accepting I spelled it wrong. Okay, so we're on this new one, and I'm trying to think of how this would look. Essentially, you've got
Do you want me to draw?
Or I'd love for you to draw. Can you draw? Hang on.
I can draw in Paint. Let me see.
I'm going to stop screen sharing because I want to see this. Because this is something like a missing piece in the .NET world that I'm still like bringing in Angular and current web stuff with .netty
Share
bits.
screen. What is this? It's been a while since I've done it. Screen sharing is easy with two. I don't have two monitors.
Just share your screen.
And I can share a window. There we go. Paint.
Yep.
Share. Cool. Whoa. What is going on?
What is your screen doing?
I don't know. All right. Are we good? Is that better?
Yeah, you look great. Yeah.
Holy. Okay. That was bad. Don't do that again, Paint. All right. Cool. So what we're talking about, where are my boxes? There we go. Shape. I draw that. Perfect. And we can put text in there. Right. Or does this have it? I have to put my own text box, right?
Yeah, you have to you should, yeah. And then now you should know once you type and then you leave that box, I can't figure out any way of editing that.
Oh, that's okay. you have your client, and do we have arrows? Oh, we do have arrows. So what happens is you make your request. This isn't rotatable.
Who's client?
It's a browser.
Well, why are you using weird words like client?
It's
I love giving Mike a hard time. Alyssa. Chrome. Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Cool. Is that better?
That's so much better.
All right, cool. So what's going to happen is you make a request, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that goes to a server. And I don't know why these boxes are so big, but they are. So we'll do it. Okay. And that server can be .NET, could be Node, could be whatever. Make sense?
Firebase or no, this is something different?
Firebase is an example of a server. So I don't know what technology Firebase is using under the hood. Probably something Node. I would assume it's Node, but I don't know for sure. So that'd be a guess, and I don't want to guess.
I'm with you so far, kind of.
All right. Now your server is going to do stuff, right? So it's going to do some processing stuff, right? So whether or not that's
like adding
formatting
data,
database calls.
Okay.
I don't know, other logic, processing. So, or here, let's put calculating.
So I was planning this advent calendar app with my friend. You guys should know him, Ed Charbonneau. And he was saying, like, with the advent calendar, he's like, oh, we could randomize what's behind each door. Now, usually from like an Angular perspective, I would just like write that logic in a component and go with it. Is that something that is that kind of thing something that belongs? Here's your list of things, randomize which one it belongs to. Or does that, I don't know.
It depends on that. That's where the decision and the balance comes in. How big is the list?
It's like 10 items, so not very big.
In which case, you'd probably just have something listening to get random list items as an endpoint on your server. It would call processing stuff. Actually, yeah, processing stuff, and it would give you all 10 and send it back. And this way, you could just manage that in the browser because 10 items is next to nothing.
Oh, I see. So you're saying,
let's say your list of
if it's like intense, it belongs on the server.
Say your list is 1 million items long, right?
Yep.
So say you have a database with everybody that lives in the United States. So it's 330 million items long, right? And you have everybody's name there, and you want to grab a random person. Well, you don't want to send 330 million records to the browser, right? Because then you're sending a payload that's this big back to the browser when you just need a random one. Does that make sense?
It does. But in that case, I think you could still do your logic on the browser side without being too intense, because you could be like, cool, hey, database, how many records do we have? Oh, we have 1,000,001. Cool, random number between 1 and 1,000,001. And then that's the one you request, right? So like, what's the point of letting the server do that logic? I guess if you
oh, I lost my processing stuff. Oh, control shift.
Did you?
I lost my processing stuff gone. Oh well.
What's that mean? Oh, you lost the text?
Yeah, in Paint. I undid something in Paint. So this does some sort of processing / database.
Oh, yes. You did lose that arrow.
So that's it's back here. And what's a database look like? It's a cloud-based database. Right? So it does something. And then what'll happen is that information will come back to here.
Okay.
To the server, and their server will package that back up and send that back to the user or back to your browser, and it will do whatever it needs with it.
And so the .NET part is from server on.
This is basically a rough picture of what HTTP, the protocol, looks like.
I'm just trying to figure out where
actually,
Angular...
this here.
Because in this case, Angular would only be like... Because you know how Angular can do routing? Would you do routes in your .NET app, or would you do routes in your Angular? How does that work?
So a route is just an address. And it depends on what that route's going to do. If it's going to paint something in the screen and you're doing an Angular application, then Angular would handle it. If you're talking about a data route in an Angular ecosystem, then the server would handle that. .NET would handle that. But we are miles away from the console.
I apologize. We did. Okay. I wanted to... Silicon said, perhaps it help to clarify the distinction between something like JavaScript SPA or Blazor WASM that stays running in a browser, sending JSON back and forth, and an older style web app made using something like ASP.MVC that constantly render pages, right? So like whenever I was in college, we talked about, I think JavaScript, like single page applications were the new hotness. And that was all I ever learned.
Okay. I lived in an age where the browser didn't support a whole lot of doing things on the client side. So that whole JavaScript application thing didn't really exist. Where anytime you wanted to show something on the screen, it was a full round trip to the server, where the server would piece together all of your HTML and send it down to the or back to the client.
Okay.
But obviously with CSS and JavaScript now, you can do a lot more dynamic things to be able to provide a richer experience for your users.
I think both.
This is weird, just staring at Paint talking to you because I don't see you right now.
Here, we can stop. We can remove that if you want. Is this better? I don't know how to...
No, it's fine. I wasn't even looking at the browser window. I was just staring at Paint.
Let me... So I wanted to...
It's still back there blinking. I don't know what's going on.
It is. I don't know why it does that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Build.service response caching is useful in your web app versus your console app, because if your web app gets the same exact request twice in a row, you don't have to go back to the database. So this was Aaron saying that.
Yeah.
Add response caching. Okay. Versus your console app. So
that's a deeper
what?
Yeah, we're getting more into the ecosystem versus the C# language.
I'm so confused. I have no idea what he's saying. Builder services add response caching.
Okay, so the server gets a request to get user 1, right? And it goes to the database, gets that information, pieces together what it needs, maybe makes multiple database calls. This is a way of basically telling your server to say, hey, if I get another one of those requests in the near future before the cache expires, just send back the same thing. It's making the same request. Go get the same information.
I gotcha. Like, hey, Napalm. Hi. Welcome to the chat. So I want to see, let me share my console app real quick. And I wanted you to tell me, because you said that we should be able to live share. I don't know if it's true or not.
I don't know either.
Burp. So chat, tell me if live share is a thing. Ah, there it is. Live share. Maybe. And maybe this is like a really bad idea, because then anybody and their dog can jump on. Is
no, it isn't.
Connections mode that improves performance for collaborators? I don't know why you're telling me this. Mm-hmm. 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 Is it happening? Oh, invitation to link is copied to clipboard. Okay, I'm privating you that. Although it might be funny one day just to like send it to everybody in chat.
Interesting story is when Justin's
Oh
not
my God,
here.
yes.
Sadness.
Yeah.
He and I used to hold on, let me click join. Yep. Hey, I've already got that on my clipboard. I'm joining. He and I used to share out our live share link so that people could follow along in their own browser, not just watch what
Yeah.
we had shared.
Yeah.
Because it's read only, but you can set everybody as read only and only have one person as editable. So you can see there.
Oh, so I can put it in I can still do this?
Yeah.
It will flash emails up, so be careful. Oh. Is it flashing your email?
I don't know. Whatever. My email is first initial last name at gmail.com. So if it shows it, it shows it. Whatever.
Okay. All right. I'm going to do this and I might regret it, but I'm doing it. And then I'm also going to go and help
Before
Mike.
you do,
Yes, I already did it.
is there a way? Did you create a read only session? Oh, there you go. Make read only.
Where?
Top the yellow bar.
Yellow bar.
Make read
Make
only.
read only.
And then if you wanted, you could put me in. You could right click on me and say, "Oh, that's contacts up in the participants."
Follow? Sure.
All right, so you're following me. So if I switch files, you follow me to that file.
That's cool, but how do I give you access? Can I? Participants.
If I type,
can you type?
yeah, I just put.
Yeah, you're typing.
Cool. So I have access to do that.
Well, cool. Okay, so yeah, join if you want. I want to show you this running because I'm pretty sure this was the first console app I ever built. I'm super duper. No, there were not build errors. Okay, I'm sure I left. Layla at one point was teaching me something, and I think I left.
Well, look at what the error says.
Oh God, you want us to look at errors? All right. No. And then how do I get the errors? I don't know how to get the errors, Mike. This way? This way.
Right down at the bottom. Error list.
Where are you seeing this?
All the way bottom left.
Bottom left.
Yeah.
Error list? How did you see? This was so tiny. And then, okay. All right. Here, make you bigger.
You can think of that. Oh, you undocked it.
I know. I'm a bad person.
When you drag, there's a little thing that shows up in the bottom. There you go. Put it over that. There you go. I'll snap it back in.
Yeah, so it's mad about cannot convert console app architecture.
So you should be able to click on that or double click on it to take you there.
Oh, wow, that's helpful. Okay, so it's upset. Cold drink equals new cold beverage.
So apparently, cold beverage does not implement iBeverage.
Let's see.
The class.
Yeah, I just have to remember how to do this. Cold beverage. Where's cold beverage?
Go to there you are. Because that is commented out.
Oh, right. We commented that out to see. So now it implements, and now it's grumpy. It's always freaking grumpy at me. I think we're going to go ahead and just implement the interface so it's not grumpy anymore. Save it. Run it. Maybe. Potentially. Oh, no. Did it work? Hey, Aaron. I see you in the bits. I see you in the bits, Aaron. How do I... This one. Okay. It looks like it's running. This is so exciting.
You have a breakpoint set. That's why it stopped there.
Oh, no. Breakpoints always get me. Go away. Did I unset it or is it still set?
Nope, you're good.
I don't know how you tell because it's still an arrow.
Red.
The red means it's stopped. Okay.
That's a breakpoint, yeah.
Continue. Is it happy? Is it mad? No one
ran.
knows. Did it?
It exited with code 0. It ran.
Okay, hang on. Perfect. Okay, so...
Are you seeing something?
Oh, you can't see.
No, you're just sharing VS.
I'm going to just share everything so that you can see when it pops up with everything. And you'll also see chat, but that's fine. So here's Visual Studio. And whenever we run, it does the bits. And I'm going to hide that. Okay. So it goes ahead and prints out these different console write lines that we have. I wanted to see, so this is my main. It's really hard to see whenever the text is this big, so I'm going to try to fit as much on screen.
Undock the
So
thing on the left so you have more horizontal.
this one?
The pin.
That. How do I make it? I don't know how.
Unpin. There's a pin. There you go.
You and your fancy voodoo. Okay. So seriously, I don't know how
15 years in .NET.
Is that I like because like just navigating Visual Studio can be stressful. I'm like, where's the button? Okay. Okay. So I'm worried that this is the wrong app because I did a lot of drinks and learning in this application, but this isn't the one where chat helped me pull in. I love that app. So everyone's going to have to forgive me real quick because I want to find it and I don't know. Lord, please tell me it did not get deleted. So I only have Blazor Toolist, console app architecture, console fun. Oh my God, Mike, wait till you see this. It's the coolest app in the whole world. Oh my God, it's so much fun. So we have this main method. Don't hate me. That. Oh my God, we're using this. What is this called? Plugin helper buddy.
Okay.
And let me just run it and show you all. And you're going to be so excited. There were build errors. Oh, there's always my list, generic. Okay. Control K, Control U, Control K, Control C. There it is. I do learn slowly. And it's running. I'm so excited. So I wanted to build this console app that kind of works like my my ZSH does, where like I can essentially, or even it's almost like the Angular CLI, right? Because like, and whenever you generate a new app, it like gives you this like, and so right now you can see like I'm scrolling down this list, and I made these different methods where it's like, what do you want to do? And I want to do addition, or I want to do all math, and I was so proud because all math can do 2 minus 2, enter, and then I don't know why my print just got wiped super quickly, and that's a bug. But let me go show you. Essentially, I wanted to make a bunch of different methods. And as I build out these methods, like give them the option and run through. So I have, where is opening statement, reset, So here was the simple, like, hey, I want to do addition, which this was just me learning CSharp and how things work. And then if we go down to, where's all math? I want my all math. There it is. Right. I was so excited because essentially I wanted to be able to take I wanted to take any line that was like a string and I wanted to run that string. And essentially evaluate is what I was looking for. And I think, so correct me if I'm wrong, like in JavaScript, like if we like are in the console and we do like 2 times 2, we've got like an eval or something, right? Like if we wanted to evaluate that line and like essentially run that line.
You're talking about running node. So if you just type node and run that.
Oh. Well, but it's a variable though that we're being given, right? Because I'm saying var math equals console.readline. So they're handing it to me and it's being put into this math variable. So in JavaScript, if I was like, var math equals whatever the user gives me.
So hold on. So you're saying you take node and you run a JavaScript file.
Oh, it could be a file. It's really just a string, but Oh, I'm still live sharing to the wrong one. I need to live share to the right one. Okay, how do I unlive share this one? Sharing and live share session, and then go close you, and then.
Oh, is that gonna tell me I got booted? I did. I got booted.
Well, I don't know if I was live sharing the right one. I want to live share console fun.
Yeah, I was stuck looking at stupid beverages.
Nobody wants to look at beverages. All right, we're live sharing. Make read only, and then I'm going to this. Oh, Napalm's saying that eval's not good. There's that. Oops, I just put it on the Twitch.
Yeah, there can be issues with eval because you're basically giving them access to run whatever you want. Or whatever they want.
I mean, are you saying that we don't have the same issues with this? What am I opening?
It depends on what you're doing. You're basically saying, hey, you give me a string, and I don't care
I'm gonna run
what
it.
you're telling me. I'm telling you to do something with it.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Okay,
So
let me.
If you're basically saying, hey, you tell me what to do and I'll do whatever, you could essentially say, oh, or I could type in format C:, and it's going to start. It may
What?
try to format your drive,
Which is bad, I
Yeah.
guess. Listen, I'm trusting the user that they're giving me math. Okay.
Well, they'd also be running on their machine, so they could.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So I was thinking it's kind of this evaluate thing is kind of the same thing as eval, because essentially we're taking this math variable and we are running it, right? We're using the console to run it.
The C# script namespace, where did you get that from?
The C# script namespace. If we scroll up to the top, I think it should tell us. No, did it?
Code analysis C# scripting. I'm assuming it's coming from there.
Yeah, I want anonymous people here. I don't know why it asked me to accept it. I think so. See, this is the part where, let me go back down to it and look for, if I hover, does it tell us? Yeah, Microsoft Code Analysis C# scripting. So that is where it's coming from. A factory for creating and running. So cool. C# scripts.
Yeah. So I'm assuming there's something within that. There's something within that function that's exposed there that basically says, I'll do what you tell me to do and I'll run this.
And I'll run it.
For value for you. Yeah.
I think, I wanted to read chat and double check. Never trust your users.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry. You didn't have to write the logic to do all the string parsing to basically say, give me the first number, give me the operator, give me the second number.
Right. Because we're using this super secret C# script to evaluate it. So yes, but
that's one of the principles of object-oriented programming is encapsulation. So all that logic's encapsulated within that function, and you don't have to worry about it.
Napalm, don't even trust yourself. I love it. Yes, it parses the string to C# syntax tree and executes it inline. I know that is beautiful magic, and we should all praise the C# scripter who wrote it.
Yeah.
But this was, it's a bit hacky, and we could debug here on what's going on. But essentially, this is Alyssa's most prized console application because it's actually doing things, right? I made, an addition method, and I made an all math method, and you can then we're using this on ANSI. I'm totally butchering that. ANSI. Is it, what is this, a known word in the community and I just killed it?
I believe it's an acronym.
Using that to essentially just change up the terminal. If we run this, we should be able to. But yes, so this is where I'm. Oh God, look at how beautiful that is. Look, I mean, it's just the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
You know what I want to learn how to do?
What's that?
I want to learn how to write to files.
You can definitely do that. It's been a while since I've done it, but I don't even know which package it is or which namespace. Or
Mike's gonna teach us how to write to a file today. I've always ever since I was a young JavaScripter, I was always like, okay, now save that to a file. And here's what Turtle would always tell me: we don't have access to the file system. And that's all I ever heard. But I'm on a desktop app now, so I need you to tell me we have access to the file system, Mike.
We need the web search thing. Yes. System.io.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. Oh my God, are you guys so excited? We're going to write to a file. Okay, we got to write something. Okay. System.io.
I could do it very easily in Node, but...
You can? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was always told that we don't have access to it. What do you mean you can do it in Node? How do you have access to the files in Node?
Because Node's running on your machine, whereas your browser, now we're in gray area and we're going to get into a side conversation, but your browser doesn't have access to the file system.
Right, but I wanted my browser to have access to the file system.
Now the browser does. I broke Alyssa. No, new APIs were added. That's how things like VS Code in the browser now work. You can do that. I think Stackblitz does things like that too.
You said there was an API added. I need a sticky note so I can look into this afterwards. What is it called? Like, if you're saying I can be like,
I don't know. Come
on, Mike. You just said it was a thing. Oh, he's killing me. He's killing me, chat. JavaScript is the final language I have accepted.
This is like a conference talk. Let me give you the point of like conference talks and what have you. You don't get all of the details there. You don't learn at a conference talk.
All right, hang on.
You learn what to learn.
Right. JavaScript access to file system is what I'm writing down. And then I'm
browser access.
Browser, not JavaScript. Thank you.
Well, I guess it's JavaScript
through the browser.
In the browser, yeah.
That's going to be magic. But now we're going to do it in this console app with this system.io bit. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over to my program. And this is you all might hate this, and we will clean it up eventually. But I've got this opening statement that runs. And then if we go down, this is where I'm essentially, this part is black magic that Layla and someone, I think it might have been Jim, Silicon Orchid, taught me. Or essentially, no, it was just all Layla. She taught me mapping. So like if we call addition, then we're going to go ahead and like run addition. If we call all math, we're going to go ahead and do that. And then we've got this await on here because, dear Lord, someone decided to teach me, if we go all the way down to A. Yeah, which is like, it's just still, I'm like,
think of tasks like functional programming. A task is a function.
But what about the async part?
Then it's asynchronous. Think promise.
Yep.
I'll use the JavaScript TypeScript knowledge because you're a JavaScript girl in a .NET world. Hashtag plug. Right. Anyway, that's essentially what you're doing. Is it's a function that's going to do some sort of processing asynchronously. Say, hey, go do this in the background, and up above with the await, you're just saying, I'm going to wait here until you're done, and then when you're done, I'm going to continue on.
What would it do otherwise?
Fire and forget if it's doing something asynchronous.
Okay, so I want to do. What I'm going to do is,
because you can get rid of that await keyword, right?
This?
Yep, on line 25. I don't think it's going to yell at you.
Yeah, it's angry because it is.
Oh, because the task needs
it can't completely convert task.
Gotcha. Oh, because the task and the await, I think, unwraps the task. Because task is a generic.
How the frick do you know this? This is so complicated.
Because I did this.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to make another method, and I'm going to copy paste this. I'm not going to do it awaity because I want to understand that before I use it. And instead of all math, we're going to call it file system writing superpower. And then here, this is going to be the same thing. And task dot from result, I think that's all I need in here. Although I'm getting a bunch of squiggles. Maybe I copy pasted wrong. Hang on.
That function doesn't exist.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But also, did I mess up when I copy pasted? I don't know what this chunk is. Does that chunk belong up above?
No,
no, wait. Is that this is the final? Hang on.
Get rid of that.
This?
Oh, wait. What is?
Hang on. I'm going to undo real quick just to see if before, I think it was like the default. Yeah, I think this is like.
Oh, you're missing the underscore.
Right. So we're going to Command Shift C, go forward in time. We have the underscores. You just can't see it because it's yelling at us because of this. So we're going to go ahead and make this a thing. Can I just Command period it, or will it not do that?
It might.
Generate method.
Hang on.
Beat. It generated it for us. It's private static object.
Because that's what it's returning.
Does that matter? Oh, because that's what it's returning.
You can do void.
Well, I don't know. Like if it's going to write to the file system, does it return anything? Does it have to?
I don't remember the API. I didn't even remember it was under system.io.
Okay, cool. So we've got this now. And why are you still angry? Because it exists. FS writing. I'm sure I forgot something. Returns, throw new. Why are you angry? The successfully completed
What does addition look like?
Addition.
The addition.
If we go down to addition, she looks like this returns true. Do I need to return true? Well, no, I said Boolean, so I shouldn't have to return anything.
Is your
And it's just static.
Is your
Does it
function
matter? Let me try. Go back up. It is. It's private, but maybe that. Still super grumps. Okay, hang on. Let me see if it's because, like, I wonder if I had to let it know about. Hang on, I'm gonna cut this real quick just so I can see. No, I don't think I did anything else, right? Like, it's just addition exists and we're mapping it. Task from result. Task from result. Now I'm saying FS writing superpower, and that is what this is called, FS writing superpower. Is chat saying anything interesting or helpful? I am gonna pull up chat. It's not a task.
It doesn't need to be a task.
Confused.
Do a static void or bool
on my FS
right there.
superpower.
37. Yep.
And you want me to return true?
Sure.
So grumpy. So hella grumpy. Oh, wait. This is because...
Oh, because you're debugging. Stop it. Stop your debugger.
What the frick? How do
stop your program from running.
How do we... How?
Red square. To the right. No, that's not a square. That was a flame. All right, you're fine. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
It was basically saying that since it was running, you were doing something too complicated for it to continue.
Okay, I'm with you. So I'm going to go ahead and red square it. So now if we go back down, I'm mapping FS writing superpower. And because of all these, this switch is expecting tasks with bools, right? Like, I think that's what we told it.
Yeah.
Right?
So addition returns a Boolean. Yeah. So you need to return a Boolean.
Okay. So if we go down here, I want to tap into system IO. System. It's a thing.
Dot.
Command period. Did I do it? No, I didn't do it.
No, do dot.
Dot?
Let autocomplete be your friend. And just type write. WRIT. String writer. Or text writer. You need to create one of those.
That?
Yeah, but how do you create an object?
Var yeet like that. I don't know.
How do you create a new one?
You want me to put new in front of it?
There you go.
New. Like that?
Yep.
And then wait. Did it?
Oh, never mind. There's
put it up here.
Chat's telling you to use file.write text.
Okay.
Thank you, chat.
File. Oh my god, we're gonna write to a file. Wait, is it writing? Wait, what did you say? Wait, I don't know what you said.
File.write all text.
Write all text. Why are you not auto-completing for me? Maybe it's because I have all this cruft. Why?
You need to create a file.
Oh, you want me to make a new file and then be like yeet.write all text? Hang on. I have to go back a million spaces. Yeet. All? No. Right? No. What the dickens?
Hold on. Stop. I think file wants a constructor.
Hang on. You said just words. Hang on. File wants a constructor. What?
My wife's texting me.
Okay. I was like, hang on. Let me see. Go down. We're going to check out chat. It's a static function. Don't create a new instance. It's a static class. I will stop creating a new instance immediately. I'm going back to chat. It's a static function. non-file.write all text will create the file for you. Ooh, okay. File dot write all text is gotta be okay. Let me try this. File dot write. There it is. Write all text, and then do I have to do this part and then pass it the text?
It's a function, so that's going to do an action for you. It's also it's void, so you don't need the var yeet at the beginning.
I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do what you're saying.
And then hover over the function name, and it's telling you there up at the top that it takes
string path, string contents, and string contents is optional. I don't know a path. Desktop. Desktop sounds good to me. Desktop. Hang on. Here's what I'm gonna. Hang on. Go to desktop. Can I copy this path? Copy. No. Path. Copy. Did it path? Copy. Did it? Nope, I did not. There's got to be a way to copy this path, right?
Chat might know off the top of their head. What's the Windows path text for desktop? There should be a path variable for it.
File path.
It's like
content
$sign or % to know what the desktop is.
Let's do this. Path to desktop PC. Is this it? User profile. That looks legit. Or this one. I don't know. Where are we? Do I have to route it from where we currently are, or is it gonna start from the root? Hang on.
Here, let's use.
I'm gonna write text to file CSharp. Let's see if they have like.
There you go.
You figured it out? Did chat figure it out?
Gareth put it in there.
Gareth is a genius. This one. String path equals environment to go. Oh my god, this is so fancy. And then Mo Broker said this. It was the kind of the same thing that I was just looking at, or the same thing. Okay, interesting. See, I'm wondering like where it thinks. Oh, like if it's like if I go, up and out from the project and back down to the desktop, or and then this is string path environment get folder path. Hang on, I'm grokking what you just said. Environment.get folder.
That'll give you the path to the desktop.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and I actually have no way of copying that. No, it's the full path. Okay.
I got you. I'll put it in private.
It's not relative. Thank you. Thank you, you beautiful, beautiful person. Oh, we're doing that?
I get compliments because I know how to copy and paste.
Oh, this one. I want to do this one. No, but I have absolutely no way of copying.
So go back to the private chat there.
Yeah.
And so you notice the thing that I put there. What is the difference? Because both will work. Is that the thing that Gareth put? Gareth or Gareth? Gareth. I don't know how to pronounce it, but great job. It gives you the .NET specific way to get special folders, to be able to get that information the proper way.
You're saying this
versus building a string. Yeah, mine's bad. His is better.
Okay, let me try his out, and then I'm gonna don't forget to add a file name in the extension.
Yeah, okay, because that's just going to give you the folder information.
And I want the chat to always be up, so I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so we can see that. Okay, so let's go here, and I'm going to make the. Do I need to make the variable outside of this method, or can we make it inside of it?
You're good.
And
you can't actually. Can. You'd have to do a property or a field.
You want me to do that?
Oh no, you don't want to do that inside. You don't want a property inside of your function.
You just want me to. Anyway. You want me to put this outside of my function?
No. Leave it. Put it right there. This whenever the function's called, it'll get in. That's fine.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. You think this is actually going to work?
No.
I have to define it as content. What are you angry about? It's called string. Oh wait, no, it's called path.
Yeah. And don't use string. Use var. On line 40.
Why? What does it matter? What?
Because var It is always going to be a string, but get in the habit of using var because it's basically saying I'll figure out the type for you rather than you tell me. And if it changes down the road, then you're okay.
So, someone was telling me to not forget to use the file name and the extension. That's what I was wondering. Thank you. Because if you hover over this bit, you'll see it just wants the path and the contents. So it doesn't necessarily specify like file name. So it has to be a part of the path. Yeah. So we're going to say
the path. Yeah. The path is the
/file name
folder and
/
file name. You're building a real strange string.
Why does it have to be in the dollars? Do you understand that part? Why do we have to do that part?
I don't know if that's how CSharp does it.
And well, yeah, it is, but I don't know why we have to do that. Why can't we just be like, oh, because it needs to like plop in that variable there.
Yep.
Do what Shashi said. I'm doing what Shashi said. Wait, plus? You want me to add a plus? Oh, you're saying I could do that, or I could do the interpolation.
No, quotes around the whole thing there. The whole first parameter. Yep. All the way to the after text.
You think it'll work?
Yeah. I don't know if
string first.
Because I know that's the JavaScript syntax. I don't know what the C# syntax is.
It is the C# syntax. I just was thinking.
Oh, not the $sign. It's a.
I thought we could maybe do.
Is it like rockers or mob rockers?
I'm saying Mo, but Mo will need to tell us if we're saying that wrong. Because I'm thinking we can just do it that way too. Or maybe not.
No, and the second thing there, get rid of the quotes around path because you don't want path as a string, you want path as a variable. There you go.
Is it going to be like, and it'll take this because it'll squish that into the first parameter as one thing. It's not gonna be like, this is 1, this is 2, that's 3. And now I'm pissed off at you because I didn't ask for 3 things. It's going to put that into 1.
You're good. Because that's combined is a string.
And then $sign is outside of the quote. I thought we messed that up. Okay, let me. Thank you. So there's the highlighting.
Yeah. So the $sign outside in C# says, hey, this string is going to do some interpolation for you.
Oh my God.
Some templating inside of it.
Oh my God. Okay. I want to make it a little bit more dynamic before we do this, or maybe we should do this and see if we can. I was going to try to pass it.
Baby steps.
I wanted to pass it text.
Yeah. Do this.
Okay. All right. But it's the first. It has to be special. It's the first time I'm writing to a file. That's big news.
It is special.
Okay. How do I? Is it ready to run?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm so scared.
Why?
Because we're writing to a file system. Something could go wrong.
Nothing can go wrong when you're writing to a file.
The computer might crash. I don't know if it's working.
If she crashes your computer, it's been nice chatting with everyone.
Nice chatting with everybody. Oh no, I have to actually choose it as part of the thing to do. I forgot. And it's not in my list of what do you want to do today. Oh no, I've done bad things, chat. Hang on. Run.
Why restart it then?
Yeah. Well, because I wanted to make sure that I actually was looking at the latest. Okay. So string. This needs to be somewhere, and I don't remember where. Where does that need to be? My list. That's what's creating it. And my list is defined. Who's defining that?
I don't know.
Where are you?
The code that you. No, that is a list. What adds things to the list?
I don't remember. How do I find out?
Hold on.
Scroll. String, multiple selections, more choices. Aha! So.
Yeah, get rid of the duplicates too.
Well, I wanted to show that I could do lots of things.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, it's not fine.
You did that already. We're past that point.
Save. Run. Oh my gosh, is it going to be there?
Mm-hmm.
It's there.
Wait. Are you ready?
No. Wait. Open up the Windows Explorer. Show your desktop folder, which I don't even know what you have in there. Okay. So you have 2 things there.
Wait, let me show them at the same time. Okay, ready? Enter.
Stop yelling at everyone.
It did it.
You created a file.
Oh my God. This changes everything.
Why?
Because we can touch all the files.
Run it again.
Oh, okay.
No, go back to your file.
Do you think it rewrote it?
I don't change the text.
Here?
No. Or you can do that or change the
I
file.
see what you're saying. Go and open the file and change the text. Oh God, I just don't know how to. Okay, we did it.
You don't know how to type?
Point. I don't know how to. Because I use spaces on Mac, so I'm like, I always try to like swipe up on my PC, and that's not a thing. And then do I save this? Control save. Okay, so I save that, and then we go back to my terminal, which is right here. And I don't know why I've got this weird red bar on this weird installer thing that's stressing me out.
I don't know what you're doing.
Down, enter. And then we go back over to the file. Oh no.
Wait.
Oh no.
Notepad isn't very smart. Close the file. Reopen the file. Notepad's not smart enough to reload it.
This is amazing. We have so much power. We could do whatever we wanted to the file system. Do you think we have access to emails?
You keep your emails on your file system?
Well, I mean,
mine are all in the browser, in the cloud.
I just wanted
everything goes to the web. You don't need file system.
You don't need no, you don't understand. We're gonna have so much fun writing to our file systems and organizing our file systems and touching all the files.
You're writing console apps. I'm going back to the browser.
Seriously, I love this. I'm gonna stop this for a sec. I didn't know my speakers could hit that high. Sorry. I've never written to the file system before. This is monumental. This is awesome. You guys are amazing. I can't believe we did that. So it's system.io. So do you think that's like a built-in thing, or is somebody made that so that you can access the
anything coming from system is Microsoft. It's part of the .NET framework. So, but here's the interesting thing. Being this is .NET Core, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Which means that this console application would also work if you are doing it on a Mac or if you're doing it on Linux.
Seriously?
I believe so.
Wait, that's really kind of confusing though, because I think, that's right, because I think it highlights things whenever there's a discrepancy. I think there was one time when I was running my console app and it told me that like the thing I was using was like Microsoft Console specific, because like not everything crosses over, I think, between, because
So again, go back to the idea of what I was proposing of the C:\users percent username. Okay. That is very Windows specific. But remember, Gareth gave us the environment.get folder path. So that's saying, hey, going to .NET and say, hey, get me the folder path for this special folder, which is the desktop. And I don't know if that paradigm exists within the other operating systems.
Yeah. So Code Bashan said just use relative path. I guess that's a thing.
Sure.
I thought it. Okay. So you can do both. Would work with iOS and Android via Xamarin. So you could like add a file to like your phone system or for your phone file system.
Yeah, but I don't think you can run a console app on your phone unless you have a console.
Right. I think they were saying like use the
let's
same.
Let's not go to phone. Let's stick with desktop.
Yeah, I think they were saying like use the same type of logic though inside a Xamarin app, but that. I cannot believe you can just use. But you really think you can just do this from the browser nowadays? Because there didn't like back in the day, it wasn't a thing.
Yeah, there's special permissions that need to be granted to this session, but there are ways to access and write to the file system from the browser now.
This is exciting. I'm going to love playing around with the system files and like touching all the things. Try not to sneeze. Your browser can ask the user if the user wants to give access, which is what Mike was saying, and then JavaScript is allowed to access that.
Yeah. I think maybe StackBlitz is using that.
On your Mac, what is, because you're saying this C: thing is PC?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the name of your C drive.
What's it on Mac? What does that look like?
I forget. On Windows for the last 2 months. Right? I totally forget. Because you typically don't go to the root directory. So it's like /users. Yeah, it's /user or users / your username, I believe.
Hey, yeah, freestyle coder.
Or tilde.
For home. Okay.
Yeah, and then wherever you assign that.
Okay.
Thank you, Mob. It is Mob Rockers, by the way. Not Mo.
Wait, it's Mob Rockers?
Yeah.
Wow.
When I asked if it was Mo or Mob, he said it was the second one. So.
I'm over here saying Mo. Temp for
because you're making Mo mistakes.
This was freaking amazing. Mike, is there anything else that you're like, Alyssa, you should learn how to do this next? Because here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to clean up my console app. I'm going to make it have so many magical methods, and then I want to ship it somehow so that people can use it. These are the magical things, the journey I'm on.
Deployments of a console app are
complicated, scary, tedious.
Can be harder, right?
Is it?
Potentially. I haven't done it. So in a long time. I use console apps for one thing, and I would usually just have a console app that I would reuse that I would write snippets in just to test different functions and what have you, to do some unit testing or individual testing before anything else.
No, seriously, I'm really excited to have access to my file system. I'm going to do so many things.
Sean, that task is definitely going to need to be awaited. That's an asynchronous task. But yeah, so typically that's actually not too far off.
That's funny.
Because then that goes back to the whole conversation we're talking about, access to the file system. You've never been able to do that. What you have to think about is the context in which your application is running, your program.
Right.
So a console application is running on your machine. A web application is either running in your browser or on a web server. Technically, always both, but
yes.
And therefore, because it's run in a browser, historically does not have access to the local file system.
Hang on. Oh, historically. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
New API aside. Yes. But also, if you're running .NET code, with aside from the idea of Blazor, that you make a request from your browser to the server where .NET's running, you don't have access to your file system from that server.
You're saying I don't, or I will soon. What?
in a typical web environment, you have your browser running.
Mm-hmm.
You make a request to the server that's running a .NET server.
Yep.
You can't use system. If you use system.io.write file,
yeah,
then it's obviously not going to write to your file system because it's running over here on a completely different computer. Aside from the fact that the web server won't allow you to write to the file system, but that's a security thing.
Could you just like send that back though? So like the server like sends back, here's the line of code to run on your machine, and then it like runs the.
No. No.
Why not?
That's not, because it's the context in which it's running. It's running in a browser, and not all browsers know how to run .NET console applications. And they shouldn't, because that's basically saying that I can write something on my server or have something on my server, give it to you, and run it blindly. There needs to be some sort of
Okay.
security around that.
There's all of this hubbub about trust and executions and what are they giving you? I don't know. And I'm like, just run
If
it.
you don't have
Quit
trust, you
asking
can get
questions.
executed.
No, if you do have trust, you can get executed.
Yeah.
I've done it, but don't do it.
No, that's bad.
Yeah, let's do it anyways. Seriously, I don't like when people tell me that because it's so much fun to have access to the files and to just be able to run things. Like, it's not fun to be like, oh, but what are they giving you? You know, like, but yes, I understand security, safety. Everyone keeps mentioning Blazor, that you can do this client side, but run in the browser. I'm trying to think about this.
Again, I haven't done any Blazor.
Well, so because Blazor in my brain is like, you know, instead of Angular, I'm using Blazor.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it's still gonna be JavaScript, right? Because that's what the browser needs, right?
Unless it's WASM.
Unless it's WASM, but we're ignoring that fact. So if it's possible in Blazor client-side bits, then it should be possible anywhere.
I don't know if Blazor supports the file system API or if it needs to do anything to do that. I don't know. What?
Listen, I learned ActionScript. That was the very first language I learned, and I loved it and I had a lot of fun building with it. So you can throw your Flash bits at me all you want, haters, but ActionScript was fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was part of my master's thesis. Full source code is on GitHub.
Bring up what Mob just put. So Blazor isn't actually transpiling into JavaScript. It's creating, I'm assuming, some sort of CSharp or .NET engine in the browser to be able to run different pieces of logic. That's interesting. So it's creating a VM in the browser to be able to run .NET code. Interesting.
Why can't I make a new project? I want to make a new project. I'm just gonna have to close it.
Well, not a VM, but a runtime environment.
Share
using WASM, but it's functioning in a similar way. I'm sure it's containerized so that it can run.
So if we go and we make a new,
that clarifies my understanding of how that actually works.
If we create a new project, and then we go to here and we type Blazor, we've got Blazor WebAssembly app, and then we also have Blazor server app. But I've never done this one. This is the one I always do. So if you're using Blazor, you're using WebAssembly, is what this is saying, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And that's what chat's saying as well. They know more about Blazor than me, which is good because I can spell it and that's about it.
Which you're saying WebAssembly is different than JavaScript because it's more lower level, so therefore you have file system access? Like,
whoa,
what are we trying to
say? Nobody said that Blazor has file system access. It might, but I don't know.
Wait, hang on. No. Hang on. Let me go up in the chat. I'm gonna see. Because everyone is like, you can do this in Blazor. And so I'm pretty sure somebody said it, that you can do it in Blazor. The mono runtime is compiled to WebAssembly, so the runtime just runs native in WebAssembly. Mike, have you ever learned WebAssembly? Did you ever just like raw WebAssembly go? Like, did you?
Nobody knows WebAssembly. It's not.
No, dude. I was at I/O like 2 years ago, 1 year ago.
People use it, but I don't think nobody just straight writes WebAssembly. There are compilers that will convert languages into WebAssembly.
These two Googlers were like telling, like, their talk was essentially that like the future of web is WASM, and that like you should use it to like write in. And I was like, what? Like, so you're saying that people don't just write it? It's not.
No, it would be like a target output from a compiler.
Blazor has file system access through JavaScript.
No, it does have. So I'm assuming it would use the same API that the browser exposes to be able to make those calls that JavaScript uses.
I was only saying that your app could run in the browser through Blazor, not that it has more capabilities.
Gotcha.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I have to write a talk on writing native WASM. I know. I feel like
more power to you.
I feel like it's the future of the web, like for super coders. Like I'm just gonna stick with JavaScript. Like what the frick?
So that's part of the benefits of the advancements that .NET has made from moving from .NET Framework to .NET Core, is that you have these smaller pieces. That means less that needs to be converted into WASM to be able to provide that runtime environment, because most WASM applications are very intensive and therefore very large. In my experiences of what I've come across, are larger applications that you send down to be able to do more complex things faster.
Yeah, that was what the talk was mainly about, was just its performance and how it blows away JavaScript. And I'm like, I guess, but like,
yeah, I can imagine where you're going to gain that in runtime performance. You're going to lose initial load times, because some of those applications can be multi megabytes, that will take a while for the browser to spin up, parse all of that to be able to get a runtime environment going.
Oh, Chris. Oh my gosh. Aaron said we could create an image text file library. You can take a screenshot of your desktop. Hang on. I'm thinking of what I would need to Google to make that happen.
All right. So here's a cool thing. I worked at a company that deployed a desktop application, and I forget the technology it was using. It wasn't a VM. It was Citrix. I believe it was Citrix, where people would connect to a certain client and have a local runtime. But essentially, it was like an image of an application on your machine that was running somewhere else. And I wrote an extension which they never deployed. I don't know why, because part of the issues that they had was if you run into an error, what do you do? Because you don't know what the user was doing or what have you. I wrote code that anytime there was an unhandled exception, that it would take a screenshot of their environment and would save it along with the error message to a database for you to be able to capture and know what the actual error was in that environment.
A screenshot of their environment? What does that mean?
The entire desktop application. So think of you did WPF. This was Windows Forms, which is WPF's foundation, or not foundation, but
is it actually like taking a screenshot, or is it like saving the state and then rebuilding that for you or something?
Nope. Like it was taking saving an image file, which was a screenshot of whatever they were running.
I see. Okay. Code with Sean. You're very sweet, darling, but it has its downsides. Looks largely read only. Oh,
there are. I believe there's the ability to also write.
Web API file system. Oh. I wanted to. So you're saying, I'm trying to think of how this would work. I'm wondering if it's just as simple as like system.file.screenshot. Like, let me look.
Yes, but it's not just a matter of capturing what the image is, but it's also a matter of taking that binary information and writing that to a file. So you won't be able to just do a system.io.file.write all text, because you're not writing text, you're writing binary.
Oh yeah, one of the first things that I just Googled from what you were talking about, take a screenshot of the app in its current state. I was talking about how you would do that. I'm on Stack Overflow, which maybe is probably not the proper way. Screen capture.capture screenshot. I wonder if that's.
Napalm gave you a link to.
You did? You did?
Yeah. .NET Core capture a screenshot in Windows.
Is that what I'm already currently on?
Do you need me to copy and paste that?
Yep.
The things I do to you.
I know. I'm so spoiled. All right, and then I'm going to share.
Anybody wants to be a guest on the show here? If you can learn how to just copy and paste, you can't just have one of the two skills. You need to have both.
Nope.
Alyssa will be happy to have you on.
Wait, is this it? Is this what he said, or is this my thing? No, I think this is his thing. And I'm going to go to the green check one, bitmap size. What am I looking at? Oh God, we're making a new bitmap. Does this look right to you, or is this falsy?
It's creating a bitmap.
I know, but is this what we
It's
actually
and
want to
then it's a
do?
local using. So that's
I thought
like
it would.
the idea of an wait.
What?
It's like an import up top, but only for that section of code.
You want to test it?
Oh, sure.
You don't have to.
My
But do you
cats are
want to?
making weird noises.
Oh, like they're dying? What's wrong with them?
I don't know. You want me to go check?
I want
I'll be
them
right
to
back.
be fine. And I'm going to open up our project real quick. This one. And then I have a method. Forgive me. I don't know. Let me know, chat, if it's not called method. But I have a method called testy test. It should be nearish the bottom. And this is where I copy this. This original code was from Microsoft Docs. So Control K, Control Comment. And I'm just gonna, this is where I put code that I want to test out. So it's grumpy about bitmap. The type or namespace bitmap could not be found. You're missing directive.
Would you like to say hi?
Yes. Hang on. Going. We're moving. We're doing.
This is Mocha.
Oh, there's a baby.
She is new to our family.
Oh, I wish
I
wasn't allergic. Cats seem so fun, like their personalities and stuff. Especially the chubby ones, the grumpy chubby ones.
We have a chubby cat as well.
I feel like if I could have a grumpy chubby cat, it might be worth the allergies. It has to be grumpy though, you know. Okay, let me see what chat is saying. You have to know the screen size. Oh God. The mileage may vary. Multiple uses. Use your path with capture bmp.save. Okay, I think I might do that because it's really grumpy at me right now with the. Oh God, why are you so upset about it? Can I just control period my way out of this? Nope. You're missing a package. Okay.
That might be an system drawing common.
Ooh, Napalm is a genius. His brain is on fire.
I also bring literacy to the table.
Listen to me.
Right.
Mike, listen to me. Sometimes it's hard to read things common. I do it?
You did it?
Still upsetting me.
It seems like you haven't added it though.
Using this directive is unnecessary. Because I'm not using it somewhere. Okay, hang on. Let's go down to testy test.
I think it might be complaining about that one. Get rid of the using on line 131.
Seriously?
Maybe.
That's why it's a grump butt.
What is a bitmap? Why it doesn't like bitmap?
I don't know. Here's what I'm gonna do. Control K, Control C, and I fixed it. Now I'm gonna do what chat.
Fix it.
I'm gonna do what chat told me to do, which is brain is on fire. Blah blah. Just saying. That's funny. They made a napalm joke. You're missing a package. What does this say? Using system is namespace. What am I reading? Hold. I'm gonna remove this. Namespace import using some. Is this what I need? I'm confused. This is what I wanted to try. Capture bmp.save. Use your path with capture bmp.save. I want to try that. So we're going to put my screen back up. We're going to go over here and we're going to say, we're going to go up to my magical method real quick, just because that's where I have access to that path. And then you were saying that we could do capture. See, I wonder what capture, like, what is that on?
That's a variable name.
It is? Capture bitmap.save is a variable name?
Yep, I think that's part of the system.io.drawing. It's been a while since I've installed a NuGet package. I'm not sure.
They want me to install something?
Yeah, is system drawing common default, or do you have to install that with NuGet?
I don't even remember how to get to Nugget. How do we get to it?
Solution Explorer?
Yeah, they're saying I don't have it. I don't have it. You need to install it. Try system.drawing. Okay, I'm going to try it. Let's see. If I do I just wanted to like suggest, like, oh, that's a thing. Shut up. Why are you so
have that
smart?
dot. Give a dot.
Rectangle dot size, like it's there. Like I don't even need to go to this NuGet thing and do stuff. Point dot rectangle.
Yeah, but you need bitmap.
Oh, I need bitmap. Okay, so I don't know how to install things. Let me see. Maybe if I search for Nugget, manage NuGet packages. Now I'm opening it. Now I'm going to search for bitmap.
No, system drawing.
Now I'm going to search for system drawing.
Common. There you go.
And then I'm going to install it. Did it do it? I don't know. Is it doing it? Oh, crap. It's got a red X.
No, that's not that. That's your
Try. System not common. Hello. Hey, Salt. Try system.drawing, not common. Did that. Didn't see a, what do you call it? The word for bitmap. Using system drawing, using system drawing imaging. Okay, I'm going to try all that goodness. Actually, Mike, can you paste that for me? I put Mike to work. Okay,
You're welcome.
we're going to try it. We're going to try it and see if it works, Napalm. Copying, and then we might have to go back to our Nugget mayhem. The var, it burns.
What's wrong with var?
I don't know.
I like the var. I used to like the var. I don't know if I have the var.
I mean, I tried doing const, and chat really hated that, so I don't do that anymore. Okay, we are back in our file. I do have some errors. I don't know why it's so grumpy. I keep undocking this. It is a problem. Can you just go down? Just thank you. Okay. So he wanted me to do a bunch of really cool things. So I'm just going to put them all here. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, bad things. And then I'm going to take all the usings and I'm going to put them up at the top because I don't think you can just plop them into a method. There's like red everywhere. Using system drawings, using system imaging.
Get rid of 5.
Sure. Do it. Get rid of it.
And 7.
And 7.
Well, not 7. It's not. It moved when you got rid of that. You have 2 using systems.
I do. Doodly do.
You're only allowed to use a system once.
Let's put it up by system and make it like drawing. Cool. Now let's go back down to that really long, really ugly public class program. Oh, he made it.
He gave you the whole caboodle.
He gave me the whole shebang.
Oh,
that's a lot.
No.
Let me just get rid of it. Unwrap it. Need to unwrap it. I'll unwrap it for you.
Get rid of. Go back. You need from var bitmap.
Oh, mother.
Stop. Yeah. Get rid of that to the left.
That.
Cool.
I don't know how much of this is.
No, you're good. You're good. Go to the semicolon right before the using. I'm
going to get rid of this.
Okay.
And go to the semicolon right before using.
Yep. New line.
And oh, this horizontal scroll is killing me. Here we go. What are you?
You're good.
What does that belong to? Bitmap, save, blobbity blobbity. I really need this to be more you. I'm going to go that, and then that, and then that, and then.
Okay.
I don't know. Does that look proper?
Absolutely.
So.
You got greens. What is it telling you there?
This call site is reachable on all platforms. Bitmap is only supported on Windows. So this is saying if I tried to take this console app onto a Mac, it would be grumpy, I think is what it's telling me, which I'm pretty okay with. Is chat okay?
Oh, yeah. Get rid of the other stuff.
Const is awesome.
That's fine. That's just
evil.
Writing out a file.
I'm pretty sure const isn't a thing in CSharp. Is it? Is it a thing? What are you saying, Freestyle?
Hold on. So you're writing file name. So copy what you have at the beginning of line 49 with the $sign. Copy that string. Nope. $sign. There you go.
Want this
copy that string. Yep. Copy that. And replace file name.jpg with that on line 47.
I'm looking for it. File name.jpg.
And then call it foo.jpg.
Image.jpg. Like that?
Yep. But you have to move the declaration of path above.
Yeah. Because it's not JavaScript.
That won't work in JavaScript either.
Because JavaScript would like read through it first and declare all the variables, and then it would run it all.
Top down. It's still gonna run procedurally.
Mother fluffer, I'm telling you, you can declare your variables wherever you want.
Not in a function.
Oh.
Hoisting doesn't work inside a function.
It doesn't?
No.
Okay, I'm back. We still have a lot of green, but I think it's just from that.
Yeah. I've got about 10 to 15 minutes.
Yep, I'm the same. I gotta bounce soon. I don't know. Let's just try this play button and see how much blows up. That's what I like to do.
Yeah. Stop, because you didn't add this as an option in your list.
It's inside of FS writing.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
Although I have no idea what this line, like we can look at, we're creating a bitmap and we're setting
you're good.
it.
It'll work. It'll work.
You think, okay, cool.
Oh yeah, totally.
We're like, yeah, sure. And let's open up the file system and put that over here too, so we can see if something happens. And then we're gonna go down and we're gonna run. Oh my god, no way. Oh my wordy girdy. We have to go look at this code. Also, was that Napalm? Who was that? Come on, guys. You gotta tell me. Someone tell me who it was. I think it was Napalm.
Wait.
Going up. No.
Look at the code. Go look at
this one. I think it was this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to put credit in here of the brilliant.
He gets an A for the code, a B for formatting in chat.
I'm sure chat just squished it. Okay. So our path, we get that, right? Like that's
pause.
Put that
They're just looking at the two of us.
Who's looking at what now? Oh,
we're not
you
want
to do that and then that and then okay. So the path we get, we understand, we did that. Down here, we're creating a new bitmap, which I guess is a Microsoft only thing, and then you have to give it dimensions, which is interesting. And I wonder what would happen if those dimensions were different. I'm gonna have to play around with this later. Like that's different from what you're like, because like let's say I said it was like 10 by 10. Would it be all like, or would it be just shrink it down, or I don't know what it would do.
Can I run? Or you continue? I'm sorry.
No, you run. I mean, say what were you saying?
Okay, so yeah, you're creating a bitmap, which is basically a placeholder. We need to see the code.
Mm-hmm.
So you need a placeholder of where to put an image, and that's what the bitmap is. So it's creating a new one and it's giving you a blank canvas, right? Say, hey, I need a bitmap and it needs to be this size.
Okay.
And then G is creating with a graphics image that it's creating it based off of this image, right? I'm creating now a graphic that's 1980 or 1920 by 1080. And then what's happening on line 48 is that it's copying from screen. And if you hover over copy from screen, I'm assuming that's the top, the right, X, Y, and destination X, destination Y. And basically that is where to start from, and then create that size, which we created up above, and then it's copying it and telling it what to do.
This makes perfect sense.
Cool.
This makes no sense. What is this using? Is this a method? Is this an unnamed method? What is happening here? What?
Using is a block that will create that variable and destroy it as soon as it's done.
Using as a block, because I've only seen using as like up above.
Up above, yeah. And this is a scoped using that I'm using it just between the curly brace on 47 and done with it on 49.
I thought that's what the underscore is for.
The underscore?
Mm-hmm. If we go up to here, this underscore is like it's. I don't need to name it. It's like default.
Yeah, but that's a task. That's a function essentially.
I just feel like we could do this. We can't do that.
No.
It basically calls dispose for you at the end of the blog. an unmanaged resource. It's on the file system.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's
using block and
basically
transforms.
calling the constructor on that and
Okay.
creating it. And then
Okay.
when it hits the end of that using block, it'll call the dispose on that clause.
Okay. Okay.
So
And
basically,
then
create all these
bitmap.txt.
resources that I'm going to need to be able to do this. And then when it's done, get rid of all of them.
Okay.
But part of what is happening there is, since you're doing the from image on bitmap, that when you're copying it from the screen, that it's putting it into the bitmap object.
Yes.
And I believe that is part of what the enumeration copy pixel operation does, is it copies it into the source. So I don't know what other options are on that enumeration. So put a new dot at the end of that to see what else is there.
You're saying you want me to do a new dot
Get
here
rid of
after
source
source?
copy.
Okay.
And then hit the dot again. See what options are there.
Blackness. Ooh.
So you can merge things. No mirror bitmap.
Whiteness. Okay.
Yeah.
So
source copy is basically saying copy that into the source image that we assigned on 46 in the from image bitmap.
okay. I want to see. So chat's saying lots of good things. The IO thing, like file systems, open things outside of .NET memory. It accesses unmanaged resources with using, you say after using it, close it again immediately so you don't have memory leaks. And we only need to start concerning ourselves with this because we're touching the file system, or do we always need to concern ourselves with this because we're in C#? Like, what's the concern here?
What he's saying is accurate. And it's basically, I'm doing outside of the normal. So I'm doing things that aren't controlled by .NET.
Okay.
Which is basically accessing the OS directly. So it's kind of like not an unsafe operation, but more so a not .NET thing. Have you ever used run outside Angular?
Yes, but
so basically you don't want change detection to run. So you're running it outside of that ecosystem to do something different. This is the same thing, except it's also giving the safety of saying, hey, go and do this thing, but make sure you clean up when you're done.
Do you think it's peculiar that the keyword to do that is using? Because isn't that like really different from what it's doing up top? Like, or no, it's doing the same, because like it's weird that it's using, right?
Yeah, but that's a semantics argument that I don't want to get into.
Well,
do I find it confusing? A little bit, but
is it doing the same thing in both places or no?
No.
They are two different usings.
Yes. My understanding is yes.
So
everyone
yes, the using keyword was a very bad choice. Okay, cool. That was at first I was like, oh God, is it doing that everywhere? Okay, so there's another version. Is that like a joke, or is there really another version? I need chat.
I hope you're asking chat, because
I need chat to tell me, is there really a third version? The new syntax using block no braces. There is. Oh my God, this is perfect. Okay, so I'm making a sticky note, and I'm gonna have an episode where we go into the 3 different usings and I'm gonna conquer the usings. But I really appreciate you, Mike, for coming on today, and I had so much fun, and I'm glad you were here for my first time to write to a file system and take a screenshot to the file system. And chat, you were freaking amazing. Oh my gosh, it was awesome. You have any closing statements?
Who wants to teach me JS?
Yeah, I saw that, Chris.
Because by the time you're done with this, you're going to be a .NET girl in a JS world.
Oh my gosh.
So you're going to have to go back.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. Look, this is the preview of the third kind of using. I can't wait. Wait, I think that's what it is. Maybe it's the same.
Hold on, bring that one back up.
This one? Using new name equals system.
Is that almost like a reallocation up top, that you're bringing in a namespace and just giving it a local name to be able to reference it in the file?
Chris, because I'm not answering that question.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Oh.
So that makes sense.
Async as well. System dot something. Well, I'm glad it makes sense to you, Mike.
So you have all of these different namespaces that you're bringing in, and maybe there's a name conflict, right? Like something within theirs that say they both implement foo. You're bringing in two different namespaces, and they both have foo inside. You could reference each package by an alias, and this way you could say x.foo and y.foo and know which one you're talking about within there. I'm assuming that's the typical use case for it.
Okay. I see you, Mob, and I have added it to my list along with understanding all the usings, because I do. I want it to be purposeful, and I want to understand it when I use it, because right now it's kind of just scattered throughout my code. Yeah, let's make this one async. Sure, why not? Like, oh. No. Using Sean.people, using list.people would be a conflict, and this gets around that. Okay. That was fun. Oh, well, thanks, guys. I'm looking at Twitch. Let's go ahead and raid, and I will be on next Tuesday. I think I'm going to be doing part 2 of F# with Layla. But I will, I'm going to continue hacking away at this console app and bring it back when it's a little bit more clean and when we're ready to go on to the next thing. But I do appreciate all of you. Oh, thanks, Napalm. You guys are so sweet and really, really helpful. You're making this learning journey just amazing. So thank you so much. And thank you, Mike, for your time today. We're doing the raid. Let's do it. Give them our love. Raiding.
Bye-bye.